up on this episode of The Rant, we look into the fall play, check out an art show, recap Veterans Day, and look into the FFA convention.
Hello, Blue Jays. I'm Bridget Johnson.
And I'm Georgia Steeples. Welcome back to The Rant.
On this episode, we head to the public library with Mackenzie Polk to check out Colton Vance's first solo show.
Colton Vance, a senior, had the unique opportunity of hosting an art show at our local library.
Basically, this got started during COVID. I just wanted to find a different hobby, something to get into. Obviously, I had that opportunity considering the fact that my dad's an artist. So I would definitely say that my dad has had an influence on me doing all of this, just because, as kids, you look up to your parents for different reasons.
The pieces displayed were part of his portfolio, Last Stands, as a student at Bonneret Farrar, and were inspired by cartoons, graffiti, and comic books.
This out of the collection, I've obviously been doing a portfolio of 4x4 feet just to have this super sleek and cut portfolio. But this right here is probably my favorite, just because I was pushing the ambiguity of making a piece and having subtle moments where even places that I didn't paint, you can see that there's obviously still just a sense of being finished.
He hopes to continue to develop his skills as he is looking into what comes after high school.
I made a couple visits to a couple design schools in the Midwest. I'm definitely leaning towards Kansas City Art Institute, fall 2023. They don't have a mascot, so I can't say go anything, but go Art Institute.
If you are interested in checking out his art show, it will be in the Bonneret Public Library for the next month. This has been Claire Meisland reporting for The Rant.
While we're talking about fine arts, the school put on a fall play. Charley Smith takes you to She Kills Monsters.
On November 4th, I went to She Kills Monsters and I got to see what they did backstage. On Friday the 4th and Saturday the 5th, the high school theater department put on the 2022 fall play. This year's play was titled She Kills Monsters. The cast and crew have been working hard for about 2 months to make the show come to life. This play was about a girl who learns about her younger sister through her Dungeons & Dragons campaign.
Are you crazy, Vera? Of course I L-bombed her. But geez, she lost her sister. There's more things on her mind than just...
I caught up with Olivia DiTomaso, who played Tilly in the play.
Tilly!
What would you say was the biggest difference between this year's show and last year's show?
This year's show was actually a show and not just a series of short plays that had no cohesion or plot intertwining them, really.
Okay, and how would you say your performance differed from last year's?
I think my performance was good, or at least a lot of people told me that, and usually I'm the comedy relief, and I had a more serious role this time, so it was cool.
All of these people did a fantastic job with this play, and you can catch some of these talented actors at this year's spring musical, Little Women. The auditions will be held on December 14th and 19th. This was Charley Smith reporting for The Rant.
Hey Bridget, why'd you miss a week of school a couple weeks ago?
Which time? Oh, you're probably talking about the time where I went with the FFA chapter to National FFA Convention. Addie Wingert fills us in.
On Tuesday the 25th, our FFA chapter headed to Indianapolis for National Convention. Recently, our FFA chapter sent one person to compete against the best in the country, which is the first time in chapter history, and 9 members to cheer her on. Emma Liss competed at state last spring and won Creed Speaking. She has spent the last few months practicing to face the other 49 states plus Puerto Rico.
I was fortunate enough to represent Iowa as the Creed Speaker candidate, and we made it to the prelims round. It was a really exciting experience getting to meet people all over the nation. And competing in something I love and am so passionate about. FFA is such an incredible organization, something that's definitely changed my life. And it was a great 5 days getting to meet new people, eat a lot of food, shop around, talk to different organizations, and 5 days full of dancing and no sleep.
Along with Emma competing, the other chapter members got to visit many different places, including Hummel Livestock, where they got to see puppies and a kangaroo. When Emma went to compete for Creed speaking, the other members went around to explore Indianapolis. They also visited a bunch of different booths and also did a bunch of shopping.
This has been Addie Winger reporting for The Rant.
Last week, the whole school headed to the gym to honor our veterans. Afton McConnell has an inside look.
November 11th was Veterans Day, and to celebrate, we had an assembly.
We started things off with the national anthem sung by our select choir. Then we welcomed Master Sergeant Dale Boycourt to our school. Boycourt gave us the first inspirational message about this heroic holiday.
As the day to honor veterans of World War I, years later it became a day to honor all veterans. Please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
They led the pledge that was followed by another speech.
And I'm assigned to your school as a National Guard recruiter. I've been recruiting for about 5 years now, and this is my passion. This is what I love doing.
The guest speakers opened the floor to anyone who had questions. Then we had 2 of our teachers speak about their time serving. After, we wrapped the assembly up by listening to Clint Nelson play taps on his trumpet.
This has been Afton McConnell reporting for The Rant.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Daryl Dotson.
Wild. Dottie in the wild. Come on, Mr. Dottie. Do you know who Jaden Lust is?
Yes.
Thoughts about her?
Besties for the resties. Okay, very good.
Sonia Hook. He said that you were his favorite teacher. Who's your favorite?
Mr. Dobish, I gotta say.
Dobish.
Mr. Dobish. They said that Mr. D was their favorite teacher? Yeah. Well, I think they just don't want to run during football, except for Colby. You know, Gage is a good kid. So, of those 4, Gage would be my favorite. Sorry, guys.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Mrs. Turk. Miss Estergaard.
Do you know who Reed Faltzgraf is?
Yes, I do.
What are your thoughts about him?
Pretty good student. He likes to hit the gritty like all the time, even when he should be cooking.
I'd have to say Miss Stein.
Do you know who Haley Mullen is?
I do.
What are your thoughts about her?
She's a lovely human being.
She said that you were her favorite teacher.
I appreciate that.
Liston.
How do you react to Cole Miller saying that you were his favorite teacher?
Wow, I'm honored, and thanks, Cole. You're a great guy.
Do you know Mark Phillips?
I've heard of him.
Thoughts about him?
I don't have many.
Was he your favorite?
No. He's actually my favorite Mark that works here.
Do you have a favorite teacher? Favorite BFF? Mr. Seidel?
No.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Mr. Barons.
How do you feel about Levi?
Levi? He's a Florida Marlins fan for some reason, but other than that, he's pretty cool.
That's all for this episode.
You can stay up to date on everything at Bondurant for our high schools on our socials, at Blue Jay Digital.
We'll see you next time. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Hashtag.
That's a little harsh there, Bridget.
Georgia, this way.
Come here, no fight. Okay. That we know of.
I'm Georgia Steeples. Welcome back to The Rant.
Oh, I know. We're gonna have a trauma session after this. Which time? Oh, you're probably talking about the time. You're probably. Which time? Wasn't that awkward? We got beef now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Men don't exist.
Did you just say surprise?